Yes. Well, one company that did buy a lot of assets, a lot of bubble assets at low prices a generation ago, Google.
Beautiful
Shifting
segue.
gears.
I was debating, do I go to the Google buying up dark fiber or
Yep.
do we move on? And you dropped
I'm
it right
on
there.
it, Ben.
Great
We've
job.
been hosting
Excellent.
this for years now.
Excellent.
Sergey
Well done.
says, Andrew and Ben with
Wait,
Google.
is this Sergey in Palo Alto or what is this? Or Mountain View?
Well, it could be. With Google losing Noam Shazir, Jeff Dean, and a few other key engineers, who can they even acquire to fix their talent problem? Can they even fix this problem with an acquisition, given how character AI has worked out? So this news came down last week. Demis is stepping aside. He's moving into the chair role at, I believe, DeepMind.
Okay, I don't know for sure what's going on here.
Are they just
level,
a cloud company now?
No,
should we take that away from this?
At this level, people don't step aside, or when you go upstairs
Elevated.
like this, yeah. No, that's I don't want to say he got canned. It is a departure in direction from where it was going. Like like tech's fun to talk about. Like we have a great time here. I hope our listeners have a great time. At the highest levels, it is
pretty ruthless.
It's pretty ruthless. Pretty ruthless. And that's the way you should probably, that's the way I'm thinking about this. We'll just put it that way.
So that's what happened to Demis.
Like one of the gods of AI, like one of the most well thought of people in Silicon Valley. My assumption is he got canned.
Yeah, well, and Jan was out at Facebook last year.
So
yes. Some of the forefathers stepping aside, let's say. With Google, should we just give up on their frontier abilities and ambitions, and are they a cloud company at this point?
Well, you got to be careful about reading too much into this, right?
Okay.
I think it's fair to say Mark Zuckerberg was totally right to get rid of the whole Llama team and completely reset. Now, again, you could say, is it worth all the money? But Muse Spark, it's looking pretty good. It's looking a lot better than Llama was. Llama had clearly not just fallen behind, but were resorting to basically cheating.
Yeah.
And so you would look at it and say, oh, they lost Jan LeCun. They got rid of their whole team.
Yeah.
They're in much better shape today than had they just stuck with what they had. XAI gets rid of their entire leadership team, I think, at the beginning of this year. Everyone's like, they're done. They're out of it. Grok is finished. They acquire Cursor. They are coming out with models. The new model apparently is amazing. Okay. I haven't, I'm not an expert either, but it sounds like it's pretty good. They're at least for sure in the running. And so just because a company gets rid of a team doesn't mean they've abandoned the area. Sometimes the team just needs to be gotten rid of, I should say. So, and that's what's interesting. It's not clear cut because by all accounts, including mostly his own words. And by the way, I think we kind of saw this coming. A weird thing at Google I/O was Demis was hardly on stage at all. They did a whole keynote about AI, and he barely talked. And when he did talk, he was like, there's this step beyond LLMs. It's not just about text. It's about world models. And he's been about this all along. And by the way, I think just like Jan LeCun, what was the problem? What was the Facebook issue with Jan LeCun? He did not believe that LLMs would lead to AGI. They felt they were fundamentally flawed in terms of being generalizable. He might be right. The problem with that is that doesn't matter for Meta. LLMs can do sufficient things for Meta that they need to not have someone who doesn't believe in LLMs in charge of AI.
Thinking about the next paradigm. Okay.
There might be a very direct analogy to Google. It's a similar thing. Demis thinks that we need world models, world simulations. Why? Because does text generalize? Text is an abstraction that describes the world. It doesn't act like that's the beauty of text. The reason why we can communicate, someone can be listening to this podcast and beginning the concepts we're talking about is it's a mechanism to communicate what's going on in the world. It's still a proxy for reality. And I think the concept of the world model is you need to actually, there's so much more that's actually indescribable. It's like a picture's worth 1,000 words, right? A video's worth a gazillion. A simulation is worth a trillion words. Like you need to actually understand the nature of what it is in order to truly have AGI. That is sort of at the core of what Demis believes. The problem for Google is that's all fine and well. They need good LLMs right now.
Right.
And I think that might be actually the explanation. It's not that they're giving up on LLMs. They're actually committing to LLMs in a way that DeepMind was not committed to LLMs, in particular coding.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, that's a convincing read per Reuters this week. Sergey Brin, not Sergey, our emailer, has urged key staff to go all in on Gemini and catch up to the frontier, including telling DeepMind staff to move faster. So he's squarely in the mix, and that's potentially a bullish sign for what Google could accomplish.
Right. That's the reason why I'm hesitant to say they're just giving up, right? Like, I've sort of heard through the grapevine that there was a lot of tension between Sergey and DeepMind, generally speaking. Sergey clearly won the war, and I don't think Sergey is in it to build a cloud. Like, Sundar Pichai might be in it to build the world's greatest cloud business. Thomas Kurian is certainly in it to build the world's biggest cloud business. But as long as Sergey is involved, I assume their goal is to be on the leading edge. And there's a lot of people out there like, oh, Google's bureaucracy, all move slow. Look, we've been writing and talking about that for ages. That's absolutely the case. But I do think this question of how much of DeepMind's focus was purely on text and coding specifically. Anthropic's the far opposite. Anthropic's not doing any worlds. Anthropic doesn't even generate images.
Yeah.
All Claude generates is text. Pure and code text. Is a version of text. They are on the total opposite side of Google, which Google has the best multimodal models. And it's really amazing because you can like say you want to do search on an image. So you could analyze an image, decompose it to text and like describing what's in the image, and then search text and then generate like this whole like chain of like going back to text, which is kind of like what happens with an Anthropic approach. Google just sort of like absorbs it as an image and can like respond as an image. It's all sort of like it's actually the capability of Gemini in this regard is very impressive. And however, that has nothing to do with coding. And I think and coding right now is all that matters. And my interpretation is that Sergey is like, great science project, we can't code. And so,
well, good luck to him and the squad at DeepMind. I want more competition on the frontier. So let's